So it would seem as we get closer to John Cena's final match, we're getting closer and closer to realizing that Gunther will indeed be his final opponent.
Feet desperate to get out of this sleeper, right back into the power bomb. Oh, the brutality wave.
But it seems not everyone is super thrilled about it. Like, for example, there is no reason for Gunther to win the tournament and Cena gives back the title to him. Look, I'm still in the camp that they should give this moment to Gunther, because I think you further help Gunther get back to where he was. But you're also setting up Gunther to be beat again by someone hopefully more worthy this time. I understand Gunther has a huge list of accomplishments in WWE already. He's had the world title reigns, he's retired Goldberg, he's the longest reigning IC champ ever. Fans are saying things like Melo should have been the one to retire Cena, and to that I say I would have loved to see it. I think the idea of Melo putting Cena's jersey in the rafters is a story they so easily could have told. Ever since Melo came to WWE, it's low-key been his arc to do so in the background. But am I mad at Gunther being that guy? Not at all.
I think it goes something like, ruthless aggression. Yeah, same energy.
The damage done to Gunther's aura and everything they built up when he was submitted by Jey Uso at WrestleMania, to me, he's still in the recovery phase. And I think by retiring two legends in the same year, and one of them being the greatest of all time, you help set Gunther up for 2026, where someone else can in turn go over on him. And this time, someone more deserving or perhaps better booking than what we saw at WrestleMania. And of course, the other take, pre-UFC Brock was a much better performer than post-UFC. Which, I mean, yeah, it's kind of a cold take. It's a no-brainer. I agree. And let me know your wrestling hot takes down in the comments below. It can be current day or it can be in history, and you'll have a chance of being in the next episode. I'm tired of seeing Jey in War Games every year, and I'm a Jey Uso fan. Wow. That's crazy. Even Jey Uso fans are tired of seeing so much Jey Uso. But yeah, I think right now, WWE, to some extent, they're risking the idea of War Games becoming like Money in the Bank, where it feels forced every year rather than build. Now granted, I will give them credit, both men's and women's builds have picked up in the last 2 weeks, but having the same rotation of people involved every year with a similar build will get stale eventually if it hasn't already. I don't even think the booking of Roman Reigns and the Usos being on the same team makes sense. Roman blew them off and said he doesn't want to see them for a while, and then a month later they're teaming up again, but I would assume that further dissension is going to lead to them losing ultimately to Brock and Co. Because as much as I don't want to see it, I don't think WWE is going to resist the opportunity to have Brock Lesnar dominate War Games. It feels like that's just what they're going to do. Of course, after it's all said and done, it's going to pop up saying nobody liked that, but do they care? No, unfortunately not. I'm happy Cena got his revenge on Lesnar. It was good to see Super Cena return. But in all seriousness, Carmelo should have won tonight. He's the future of this industry. Well, I already spoke about Melo, and I would have loved it equally as much as I love Gunther being the guy. But yeah, Cena getting his revenge on Lesnar, what a moment. At this point, Unk, just wrap it up. A G1 Climax style Survivor Series would be a much stronger and more exciting format than the tired brand warfare and War Games concept. While I enjoy War Games, it's starting to feel repetitive and predictable, and the impact just isn't the same anymore. I would love to see that. I think WWE could benefit from more variety in every aspect of the company. Kevin Owens returns at the Royal Rumble, wins it, and faces CM Punk for the world title. Honestly, I'd be down if CM Punk can get his character work back on track. I don't want this version of CM Punk versus Kevin Owens. I want like AEW 2021 CM Punk versus KO. I want 2011 CM Punk versus KO. I don't need none of this Mr. Is it great to be alive to witness a CM Punk versus Kevin Owens face to face on Monday night or what? The Miz doesn't deserve a second shot against Cena. We want Hendry.
Say his name, man.
Lesnar's fall is poetic justice. F that guy. I concur. They're making both the World Heavyweight and Undisputed WWE Championships uninteresting. Yeah, there's just not a ton of dimension with either belt right now. And it's crazy because Cody Rhodes and CM Punk as world champions should be ethereal. Rhodes should be focusing on Aleister Black really at Survivor Series, because McIntyre should still be suspended, to be honest. Then you could have had him come back post Survivor Series and get involved in what Black and Cody were cooking. And again, I've already spoke about it recently, but how LA Knight is not in War Games given his history with The Vision and Logan Paul, I don't know. And for Punk, it's rough sometimes, man. It's like I said in my Punk retrospective recently, he's just too predictable and catchphrase heavy. He doesn't look or feel like CM Punk anymore, and it's just a little repetitive. But as I also said, when he wants to ball, he still can. We just don't get it all the time. Both Ziggler and Cardona losing was kind of a bummer. Like, I get it, the nostalgia pop was good, but what if they had faced each other and Solo versus Knight was a thing? I actually am gonna disagree with you here. I think Solo versus Knight wouldn't have done them too many favors, because right now I don't think it benefits Knight or Solo to lose to one another. Heels gotta win for both sides at War Games. I'm gonna disagree again. I think the men's match the heels will win, but women's the baby faces will win on that side. Because again, this feels very WWE of them to do, but I can see it happening. They're gonna do a thing where Punk or Cody gets pinned by Lesnar, and that's how Lesnar gets his name back in the title picture heading into WrestleMania. And then maybe they want to run a big fatal four-way between all the people that are in the WrestleMania ad, so it'll be Lesnar, Reigns, Punk, and Cody. And that'll be their way of saying, wow, WrestleMania in Vegas again, it's even bigger. Look at this main event. You're not getting this anywhere else. And then over on the women's side, they're going to do a thing where, oh, look, Charlotte and Rhea are back to, you know, there's still a bit of tension there, but they managed to work together and they beat Asuka and co. I think that's what's going to happen. Moxley is canonically the best member of the Shield because he won the triple threat. I don't know about that one. I know he won the match at Battleground in 2016, but realistically, if they run the match back today, Roman wins it, and I think he is the best member of the Shield overall. If he never had the Tribal Chief run, then sure, maybe you'd be right, but that Tribal Chief run was undeniable cinema. After his performance on Raw, Javon Evans will become World Heavyweight Champion in the next 5 years. Yeah, I think that's a no-brainer. I don't even think it's going to take 5. It might be like 3. There are a few people in WWE right now on the rise who you just know will be world champion already. I think of Braun, Javon Evans, Roxanne Perez, Blake Monroe, Obafemi instantly. Hot take. Cody shouldn't be in back-to-back War Games matches, and if Roman is a part-timer, he shouldn't be in it either. Anyways, love your stuff, Deonte. Well, first of all, thank you, and second of all, I do kind of agree. Like I said earlier, I don't know how LA Knight is not in this match, and I feel like Roman teaming up with the Usos kind of goes back on the story beat they did like a month ago, so yeah, I agree. Lesnar's fall was funny, and it should be in the Slammies for funniest moment of the year. Honestly, I just gotta say, I miss the Slammy Awards so much. When I was a kid, that was one of my favorite things to look forward to every year along with the draft. When I was a kid, I used to love when WWE would do specials like that. Whether it was the Slammy Awards or Raw Roulette or any of those kinds of special episodes, I always think it added a lot, and I really liked how they treated the Slammies before. Nowadays, it feels like it's kind of just something they do for social media and they throw it to the side. I miss when Monday Night Raw got the Slammies. SmackDown going back to 3 hours is a great move. I said people would turn on it when it went back to 2 hours and was right. More time to get more faces, stories, and matches on the show. That third hour is creative freedom. Yeah, I'm kind of in like the middle with this, because on one hand, I think wrestling burnout is a very real thing, especially when you're a creator. There is so much wrestling to keep up with, and that does get very taxing after a while, but at the same time, as a fan and as someone that wants these wrestlers to get the time, I think a third hour in the long run will benefit SmackDown, and it will actually give a lot of these superstars and stories time to further develop. So yeah. And maybe a more pressing matter than anything else, can we just get these brands to be separate again? I'm sick and tired of turning on Raw and seeing SmackDown superstars show up with no repercussions, turning on SmackDown and it's filled with Raw superstars. Can we get a goddamn draft or a brand split back, please? The Miz deserves to be a world champion. He's been on an insane losing streak after his World Tag Team title reign was ended. It's his time. By the way, Deonte is the GOAT. Well, thank you, first of all. And second of all, you guys know how I feel about The Miz. I love him. I loved him when I was a kid. He was in SmackDown versus... But listen, man, I got all the respect in the world for The Miz. He still looks young as hell even this far into his career. His wife is hot as hell, and quite frankly, I do wish he could do more rather than just being the gatekeeper for new talent. But equally at the same time, when it comes to The Miz, it's not as if he isn't a double Grand Slam champion. It's not as if he hasn't done everything at this point. So him being on a losing streak, I don't necessarily feel super bad about it. After Gunther wins or loses the John Cena tournament, I can see him moving to SmackDown to face Ilya Dragunov enough for the US title, reigniting their feud. Yeah, I can see that, although I do like Gunther as a Raw guy. I think whenever he's on the show, he elevates it in a must-watch way, but running back him and Ilya, I'll never say no to those kind of grabs. Julia should have gone to AEW and be a threat to the women's AEW roster. Oh my god, can you imagine Julia in the triangle of man... Oh, I guess it would be the square of man... we can think of a new name later. But Julia's treatment since she came to main roster has been nothing short of appalling. Like legit, I don't know what Triple H is thinking, or any of the creative team for that matter, because I always point to Triple H since it's his final say at the end of the day, but any of you should have and could have handled that woman's business way better than you have. How are you gonna make one of the best wrestlers in the women's division, one of the best wrestlers in the world, an afterthought? MCMG should have gone and signed to AEW. They get no pop and they are plain boring. Damn. Well, first of all, let me go ahead and defend my boys and say they're not boring, their booking is just terrible. Once again, more people whose booking has been so whack for no real reason. I didn't even have a problem with them going to WWE at first because the way they were treated within that initial run was pretty good. They instantly came in, they're an established team, they got to keep their name, they got their entrance, they won the belts, it was going good. But at the same time, we could be seeing Bro Tito versus MCMG right now, but instead... Yo, Triple H, you can take the Revival back, bro. They're boring anyway. Give TK MCMG. Anyway, be sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications. Bye.